So, we all know what sins are. And if you think about it, like, what causes people to sin? Like, why do we sin? Like, why do we lie? Why do we steal? Why do we have kids out of wedlock? Why do we have sex before marriage? Like, why do we do all of these things? And a lot of this stuff, a lot of the causes for it is hate. Like, we hate ourselves, we hate others, we was raised in hate, like hate being broke, so you do anything or whatever you have to do to never be broke again. So it's like hate is the motive to why a lot of sins are caused. Like the Bible says, we're born into sin. So if you think about it, right, when you're first born, you're not born lying, you're not born stealing, you're not born doing any of that stuff. I mean, some people was born out of wedlock, but some people was born in a strongly spiritual family and they're raised up to be spiritual warriors, so they're not born into sin, but it says in the Bible that everybody is born into sin. But you want to know what we are born into? We're born into hate. Like, when we're born, people hate us for the color of our skin, people hate us for your religion, people hate us for where you live, people hate you for what you have or do not have. It's hate that causes everybody, or is the motive to everybody's sins. Like, that seemed to be the culprit to sins and to why people sin. And I realized, like, we don't, it may seem out of our willpower not to steal, not to lie, not to do all those things in this time and age. But what we can do is we can change hate into love. Like, and if you love, you won't have you won't want to do all those things that's wrong. Like, when you start having love in your heart, like, you don't want to lie, you don't want to steal, like, you just don't want, like, we got to start getting back our morals, our compassion for humans, our sympathy, we just got to get back, like, our consciousness. Like, we have to gain that back, because right now, like, everybody's on some, nobody cares for each other. Like, we'll sit there and see somebody dying and rather record them dying than to stop the death from happening. Like, this is what hate does. And it's not because maybe they hate that person, but maybe that person just hate themselves. So they don't care what happened to anybody else. They hate how the world is right now. Like, just hate what's going on. All this hate. That's all it is. Like, hate is what's causing everything to go wrong. And, like, the sooner people realize it, the sooner we could fix that and turn that hate into love, and then watch. We won't have no worries. We won't have no problems. We won't be dealing with world hunger and homelessness, because we'll want to help those people. We will make sure they're good, because that's what we'll want to do, because we love and we have love. God is love. So if we have love in us, then we have God in us. If you don't have love in you, then you don't have God in you. No matter what religion you are, no matter what your skin color is, no matter how much money you have or don't have, no matter any of that stuff. Like, if you don't have love in you, then you don't have God in you. And that's just a fact. So, it is what it is. And the sooner we get that done and we learn that, and we learn, you know what, hate's not how it's going to go. We need to stop listening to what social media tell us how to dictate our feelings and how we should feel, and rallying us up, because all we see is what they put it on here. Like, nah, let's just forget what they trying to show us, and forget how they trying to hype us up to be mad and all that stuff. Forget all that. Let's just love. Like, you don't have to love no racist person. You don't have to love somebody who's disrespecting you. But, start by loving yourself. Because when you start loving yourself, you're going to love others just off the fact of how you love yourself.